Impulse continuation patterns, exhaustion phases, convergence, divergence are all part of what we do here at the Trading Mentors. Welcome to the weekly Forex forecast for the 3rd of June. You're very welcome to my analysis for today, and I'll give you the targets, I'll give you the trends, and I will confirm what's going to be going on every day if you want to join me and join my trading team. So let's have a look at the DXY. This has gone nowhere this week. There's been ultra low volumes across the markets, and in particular the US dollar. As you can see, the last week it has gone completely nowhere. But I think we've got, don't forget, we've got non-farm payroll this week as well on Friday, so look out for that. We also have Canadian interest rates on Wednesday, but I will remind you during the day if you are in my VIP room. So the DXY completely sideways. Now convergence is an important part of trading. We love convergence, we love divergence. And as we can see here, the US dollar or the DXY has moved into this demand area, high liquidity, and moving and heading for this support area here with a triangle formation. So any kind of breakout to the upside and the continuation of this uptrend is highly likely to head for 106.98. In terms of the yen futures, as I mentioned in the week, we do expect some intervention at some stage. So just be aware of that. Now we can see a couple of points here. First of all, it's in a long downtrend. We accept that. We've been talking about that for several weeks, but it seems to have gone too far, and I think there is likely to be a reversal even if there's no intervention. We can see there's divergence in this chart here, which indicates this green line, and it's moving into liquidity. So I think we're going to see a bit of a rally in terms of the yen futures, which means I think we're going to see a sell-off of all the yen pairs. Target for this week 65.87. In terms of the indices, there's a few things going on here. This is the Dow Jones, and we can see that it has had an exhaustion phase at the top here on the supply area. That was your selling opportunity, and now it's come down to support and then heading into an ABC pattern. So I suspect the price is going to rally for a short period at 39.296, which happens to be the 618 retracement, and then head for 37.537. But don't forget, everybody will be waiting for the data on Friday. There will be some trading opportunities, but probably not with the indices or the US dollar until after Friday. But things do happen. If we see it, then we will be trading it, and I will let members know, of course, to keep you up to date. In terms of the FTSE 100, this looks pretty good. One thing that we have here, and understanding the continuation patterns, is we're always looking for wave fours. These are the most powerful. And so therefore, I'll update you each day if you want to become a member. Before I do that, just to remind you that all the information we do every day is for educational purposes only, and do your own research and trade at your own risk. So the FTSE 100 is indicating a wave 4 formation, which is fantastic, but we don't have convergence. If we had an example here that the price came into this area at the same time, then we could probably expect the price to bounce from there, but we don't have that. So this is not a convergence trade. So we just have to wait and see. But it's one to keep an eye on. The Nasdaq, as you can see, has come into an exhaustion phase here in the uptrend. So there is an opportunity to sell off the Nasdaq in the next few days. It'll probably pull up back up to this fair value gap and then head for 17.280, or maybe in this area here if it's worthwhile. But I suspect if it's going to fall, it will follow the Dow Jones and fall down to 17.270. Firing through these, and this is how quick it takes to do the analysis. I'm talking to you. You can imagine how quick it could be if you had these charts. Very, very simple and very straightforward. You're looking for impulse continuation patterns like wave 4s, and you're looking for exhaustion phases like wave 5s. So an impulse continuation pattern is emerging here on the Hang Seng. So we will be looking for a buy, but as you can see, it's having a correction mode at the moment. I want to see correlation, and I want to see it correlate into this, converge into this support area here with another factor, maybe divergence, or maybe even into a liquidity zone. If we have a look at this area here, we're going to be interested in somewhere around here, aren't we? So that is an area where we could see some interest if it continues to fall. So once we get down to here around 17,463, then we could see the price move and bounce that back into a nice move upwards. The S&P 500, an exhaustion phase, as you can see, into a wave 5, which has also massive divergence as well. This is selling off and going to 5015. You can sell this immediately on Monday at your own risk. At the end of this video, it's short, only 15 minutes or so. I'm going through this very quickly. I'll give you my favorite trade to look out for on Monday. So, and if you're a member, a VIP member, then of course I will let you know immediately. And if you want to become a member, all the links are in the description below. And I'll do the full analysis for members, including Forex, oil, gold, indices, Bitcoin, and all the rest of it. So it's full analysis, so you can get a heads up on what to trade next, where the targets are, where the stops are, and so on, where the trends are. So West Texas oil, let's have a look at this. This is West Texas oil. Now this is moving into a wave 4, so watch out. A lot of people are selling this, and not sure why. There's a lot of support here. As you can see, it's not achieved lower lows. It's fighting with this trend line. But in order to buy this back into the wave 4, it does need to break this triangle formation, as you can see in this support line. So once we get there, I'll let you know. I have a target here of $90 if this break happens. Bitcoin, good old Bitcoin, is a massive move coming. Don't blink at this. Once it goes, it's going to go big into a wave 4 here, as you can see, and hesitating because there's no volume in the market. This triangle formation is going to get broken probably in the next few days, certainly this week. Target 77,246, $90,000, and then on to $110,000. This could happen very quickly. Silver, as you can see, into a exhaustion phase with divergence in the market. So this is selling off, going to $29.34. Gold is interesting, and as we can see, we have a long-term uptrend which is now being hit and almost converging in with this demand area here at 2314. What's likely to happen here on this wave 5 exhaustion phase, we're going to see price come back up in the next few days to somewhere around, what is that, to 2379, or even as deep as 2400 before the ABC pattern kicks in. Once the ABC pattern kicks in, then we can expect the price to come off here and then start to move down again, even down to back to 2000. So there's lots to do before it does that, and lots of stuff to break through. However, I think on Monday we're probably looking at buying gold up to about 2400 before we see it sell off. Now, as mentioned earlier, the US dollar is going to be pretty much sideways probably all week. We'll monitor it, but nonetheless, we're waiting for non-farm payroll. So just be aware of that. However, I did mention earlier that the yen looks like it wants to have a little bit of a rally, massive divergence and so on. So that being said, the correlation is that all the yen pairs will be going down in the next few days. The other thing to remember, if you're trading the yen pairs, they are not related to the non-farm payroll. They do have an impact across the board, but less impact on the miners and the yens. So here's the US yen into a wave 5, but heading back into this liquidity zone, and we do have negative divergence as well. So we have a number of events. This is pure convergence in its real state here. So target is 151.90, the previous low, but I think this could go down to the next low, which is 146.51. So a big move coming. US Swiss is looking weak. We did sell it on Friday on this ABC pattern. So as you can see, into a wave 5 exhaustion. We've got a head and shoulders, so this looks like there's going to be a big move down. 88.05 is likely. Don't forget, we're talking about US dollar, so bear that in mind. Now the US Canadian, there's interest rate decision on Wednesday, so just be aware of that and maybe trade this after Wednesday into Friday. Target 138.58 into convergence. This is what we're talking about, convergence. So the price is coming into an area where there's several events happening, coming into liquidity, coming into the trend line here. That's a trading opportunity which is typical, and we can expect this to go to 138.58. Into the yens now. These are really important points here. And as we can see, we've got massive divergence here on the New Zealand yen. This is in an exhaustion phase and hit our target previous week. Congratulations if you got that. Now heading into a wave 5 from here, possibly. So we're going to have to wait and see for this one, but I do expect this price to come down, and we're going to have a target here down here of 93.20. Same with the Aussie New Zealand. Don't trade both. New Zealand yen, Aussie yen do the same thing. Target 102.25. Divergence in the markets into a liquidity zone. Then, of course, there's going to be some reaction more than likely. Pound yen, similar situation here. We do expect the price to exhaust here at the liquidity zone into a wave 5 down to 196.40. And then on to 132.24, this previous low down here. Euro yen, very similar patterns on the yens. So look out for this. This is going to be interesting, and massive profits on these once they hit the targets. 167.70 is the initial target, the support line. There is another massive target down here if you want to go for it, and that's 159.40. Now the Aussie Swiss, out of all the Swisses, looks good into a wave 4, which is an impulse continuation pattern, which we do expect this price to move up. 61.34 is the nearest target we can go for, but don't be surprised if this goes to 162.85 and then on to 62.85 and then on to 64.74. Pound Canadian into a wave 5 exhaustion area. We do expect this price to move down into the wave 5, and you probably will find a pullback back up into this area here, 174.13, before it goes down to 171.51. Aussie New Zealand looking good actually. There is no convergence, so it's not one of my favorites, but nonetheless it could break out to the upside on this trend here. There's no divergence, there's no liquidity zone, so and there's no Elliott wave formation that's been calculated. But nonetheless, this should break, and if it does break, then you can look for a pullback back down to this support area and then on to 11027. Euro New Zealand, we've been talking about this for some time. What you find when there's low volume across the markets, especially with the majors, you're not going to find any volume in the minors. That just doesn't happen. So when you're looking for other trades, just be aware of that. if there's no volume in the majors or oil or gold, then there won't be any volume in these either. But we can see that this is hitting an important area of support in the long-term trend. So we could see a breakout to the upside. And if it does that, then we can expect the price to come up to supply at 18039. So just to highlight before I end this weekly Forex forecast for the 3rd of June, I'll give you my favorite trades for this week. The US yen, although bearing in mind it's a dollar trade, I do expect this price to come down. It could be as ready as soon as Monday. Now that is good because that's an early start heading into Friday on non-farm payroll. It gives us plenty of time to lock in some profits. Gold, I do expect a bit of a rally in this to up to maybe 24.00, maybe not quite as much as that, but then I do expect the price to fall off. Bitcoin, one of my favorites as well. And when you're trading Bitcoin, just be aware if you're using a broker, they require very high margin for Bitcoin. If you are using a Bitcoin wallet as I do, then you're better off buying the stuff on the wallet so that you can benefit here. So I do expect a breakout this week on that. Oil is also one of my favorites, but again, we're not seeing a breakout yet. If we do see a breakout, that could be red hot. Others I'm looking for on Monday, first thing, New Zealand yen short, pound yen short, euro yen short, and Aussie Swiss long. They're my favorite list for this week. So keep an eye on them. If you want my analysis, just pop into the links below to the website. Sign up. It's free. So there's no excuses. Have a wonderful weekend.